we're taking a look at the all-new Tesla Model Y that has just been introduced. This is a very successful car for Tesla. They produced over 3.5 million of these units, and in 2023 this car was the first electric car to be the best selling car, period. So not electric, petrol, doesn't matter, it was just the best selling car of that year, which had never happened for an electric car. So it is a very important car for Tesla, and it is a very popular car in general. So today I'm going to show you around it. We'll take a look at the things that they have changed, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn, well, blast until the top speed limiter, which is 217 kilometers an hour. And this is a long-range all-wheel drive. So let's start at the front, because we have a redesigned front end, which is a little bit more wide. They redesigned it to make it a bit more wide, but also to make it a bit lower and a bit more planted on the road. So you have this new light bar running across the front end. I'm not sure this is a very successful redesign. I mean, I don't think the Model Y is a particularly good looking car in general, but this just looks so generic, and it doesn't really look like a Tesla to me. I think they took some design cues from that RoboCab thing, but yeah, I don't know, it looks a bit generic. Headlights down here, new front bumper, as I said, with this new grille down here with these horizontal slats, and the new camera in there as well. Wheels, these are the new 19-inch, which is the most efficient wheel that they've done. This is a 255 front tire, which is quite wide. And this is a Hankook tire, a Ventus S1 Evo 3 EV tire, and you also have an option to go 20-inch, and on the performance I think 21-inch even. They also updated the suspension, the dampers, the kinematics, everything to improve the ride. We've got a camera right there, and a new sunroof, which is a lot more heat deflecting. That means that the air conditioning has to work less hard, so it's more efficient. They wanted to make the car more efficient, of course, so basically in every aspect the car is more efficient. The electric motors are more efficient, the battery is more efficient, it is more quiet, the heat pump is more efficient, it is more aerodynamic, so improvements across the board. If we get in the back here, it's actually quite spacious, and we have a nice screen here which you can use to operate the climate and the audio, stuff like that. But you also have Netflix, YouTube, Twitch, and some games you can play. And you can also split the audio between the two rear passengers, so one can listen to the audio and the other one can play a game or something like that. You can also use a controller. And they have two USB ports here, USB-C, with like 65 watts of charging, so you can charge two laptops simultaneously in the back here, which is kind of cool. We've got this new panoramic roof, as I said. I think it's like 7 times more efficient in heat deflection, which is good for the passengers. Ah, that's the game. Okay, so it's like the old school arcade. Wow, I'm really good at this actually. Don't have any audio for this? I don't think so. So this is really good if you have kids in the back, you know, this is going to entertain them for hours. Pretty good materials as well, with this microfiber and this sort of textile fabric. A little bit of ambient lighting in there as well. And it's actually nice and light in there. The rear, I think, is a lot more successful, this rear design. So we have a new LED bar running across the rear with this reflection, so you have indirect light, which is your rear light. I'm really surprised that the pencil pushers at the EU decided that this was okay. I would have expected them to say, no, this is not a rear light, this is a reflection of a rear light. But there's this reflective surface. You also have the logo on there, and apparently that is enough to be considered a rear light, which I think is pretty cool. It looks kind of futuristic. I like that. A bit like Cyberpunk Tron-ish. I think that's cool. New rear spoiler as well. Yeah, I think this is a better look for the car. The rear is pretty successful. And then we've got a couple other new things in the rear here. So number one, it's actually quite spacious, and you have some additional storage down there. But also you have these new buttons. So if you hit this button, you can electrically get those seats down, and the front seats, they move forward and back automatically, so you don't have to walk around doing all the seats manually, and then you can get them up electrically as well, which is quite nice. So that's a very handy new feature. The profile of the car is pretty similar, I think, to the previous version, but they have improved the chassis rigidity. What else can I show you guys? I can show you the frunk. Open that up. You can also use your phone to do that. So more storage here, with a drain as well, so I think you can use this when you go tailgating as well. Just fill it up with water and ice, and have some cans of beer in there. Pretty nice. Alright, so interior wise, at the front we've got the same upgraded materials, which is nice, and you have some more ambient lighting running all across the front end there. We've also got this updated screen with a lot of info. This always works really well with Tesla. This is one of their, I think, their USPs. Also at the front you've got a lot of games and stuff like that. Light show, boombox, you can talk to other people outside. I think they do this well, and they know it. And they also have a very good audio system. So it's the more premium models have a 16 speaker audio system, which is very good. I think this is all pretty self-explanatory, right? So it's just a very good menu to use. It's super user friendly. And yeah, let's just take it for a drive. Oh, we do have a big update here. Tesla has come up with this revolutionary idea to use this stalk to use the indicators. So it used to be on the steering wheel, which they thought was a really good idea, and everyone told them from the start that it was horrible. They invented this super smart thing. You just do that and it goes left, and you do that and it goes right. But then they didn't have the guts to leave it there. Now they had to make them smart, so the car sort of decides for you if you are just turning or if it needs to stay on, and how long does it need to stay on. And it's very strange. Okay, so this is the long range all-wheel drive version. So we have four-wheel drive, which means you have a lot of grip. This car, the all-wheel drive version, weighs around 2,000 kilos, which is not even that bad for a car this size. The long range rear wheel drive is the lightest one, I think. It's 1,900 kilos. So that's actually pretty good. As always, you know, these Teslas nowadays, especially the smaller ones, the Model 3 and the Model Y, they drive really well. They have such a low center of gravity. I quite like the power steering. They have updated that as well, and they borrowed some parts for the suspension and the dampers and stuff like that from the updated Model 3, which drives quite well. They also improved wind noise, tire noise, stuff like that, so it's down by about 20%, and it is pretty good. It's pretty quiet in here. 0 to 100, 4.8 seconds. Nope, there's a biker. Ooh, look at that bird. It's a big one. 4.8 seconds, 0 to 100. I'll show you in a bit. It does handle pretty well, I have to say. It's I like the beefy power steering. It's not too heavy, but it just adds a little bit of feel to the steering, which is nice. Sound check. Any sound? Nope. So apparently you can also change the steering feel. So I was in standard, which I felt was really good, but you can also go to heavy, which might be a little bit too much. I think standard is just right. So let's do a 0 to 100. There we go. .8 seconds. That's pretty good, I would say. There's also a performance model which will do 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. Range 586 kilometers with the 19-inch wheels. If you go for the 20 inches, that goes to 568. The best version is the long range, of course, which does 600 plus, 622. So it's not really record breaking. It is pretty good. So if that is like close to reality, 600 kilometers, that is a good range, especially because with Tesla you have the biggest and the most dependable supercharger network in the world. I think that does mean that you have a better experience in general, because you have fast charging, it's not too expensive, there are always a lot of superchargers, and it just works. So let's find out what the top speed is, because I got two different numbers. One said 201 and the other said 217. I think it's 201. That's a shame. So I have to say, tire noise is really low. It's actually very good. I also really like the fact that you can now limit the one pedal drive, because I don't really like one pedal drive. I think it's not very comfortable, and for a long time you weren't able to change that with Teslas. Used to be adjustable, and I'm happy that it's now back. 12.3 seconds, 100 to 200. It's actually pretty quick. It's around the same time as the previous Model Y performance, so they definitely upped the performance there. In general, I think, you know, this is a very important car for them, and it's noticeable. They put a lot of time and effort into improving the car. There are a lot of quality of life improvements as well, like those super fast charging USB ports, but also the Wi-Fi has been improved, and the general connectivity is better now. I also think, you know, the look, I'm not really a big fan of that front end, because I think it just looks a bit too generic, but if you put it next to a previous generation, you definitely, you know, this is a lot more modern with better lines, more sharp, a little bit less of a blob than the previous one. And especially the rear end with that diffuse light in the light bar, I quite like that. So in general, I would say this is a big improvement over the last Model Y. And that's it basically. I mean, yeah, it's not like all of a sudden this is a very desirable car. It's just, it's a bit bland, but I think what, you know, what it's supposed to do, it's pretty good at that. And if you combine that with all this great UI and with the Tesla supercharger network, I think, you know, you have the reason why you see these cars so much. It's not super expensive, it has pretty good range, pretty good performance, and now it has pretty good looks as well. The interior has been updated, the finishing is a bit better, materials are a bit better.